Este año hemos por fin podido poner en pie algo que yo estaba deseando desde hace ya varias ediciones, que era trabajar en torno a una línea de programación que hemos llamado una temática geopolítica, con idea de dar a conocer lo que se hace en danza contemporánea en estos países nuevamente incorporada a la Comunidad Europea o con el deseo de incorporarse a la Comunidad Europea. Es decir, estos países con los cuales compartimos un mismo espacio geográfico, un mismo espacio político y que en realidad tenemos un desconocimiento total de lo que pasa culturalmente y más de lo que pasa en la danza contemporánea. Y hemos hecho, bueno, pues este año una pequeña muestra, de lo que se está haciendo en la zona de los Balcanes. Y la manera de encontrar estos creadores ha sido a través de un sevillano que se llama Gonzalo Luque, que se ha llevado varios años trabajando en la embajada española en Sarajevo, y los creadores de la zona de los Balcanes que hemos invitado ha sido a través el trabajo de prospección que él ha hecho por toda esta zona. Dar con este creador en esta zona es más complicado porque hay un problema de difusión de su trabajo, de visibilidad de su trabajo. Y en este sentido, pues nos gustaría seguir indagando por esta zona, y además también para ellos es, bueno, tanto con Kire como con Iskra, que puedan estar en un festival de danza contemporánea en España, para ellos es todo un logro. Y bueno, ojalá de alguna manera el hecho de que estén programados en este festival les pueda ayudar también a dar a conocer su trabajo tanto en España como en otros países de la vieja Europa.
My name is Iskra Sukarova. I come from Skopje, from Macedonia. Macedonia is one of the countries in the Balkan region. I began my education in classical ballet, in classical dance, so I performed in the classical ballet company, in the Macedonian Opera and Ballet for 20 years. And now there is an academy for dance, one of the first academies for dance in Macedonia. So I started to work as a professor for the contemporary dance department, which is very important for the development of the dance education in the region and in our country. So my work has been also in developing the contemporary dance art scene in Macedonia for the last 15 years. I have been working in the ballet company as a classical performer and also working as a choreographer in contemporary dance and exploring different ways of creation. And what interests me as an artist is especially finding a way how to use my education in classical dance, but also in contemporary dance. So I'm really interested in deconstructing classical ballet and finding a new form, a new language, which for me as an artist is authentic and something that I feel that is exciting for me, using these two techniques, or not just techniques, but two ways of thinking and two contexts, I can say. And what I think is also important for the region, that I'm not just an artist, I am an artist first of all, but as one of the pioneers of contemporary dance, I really had to work on finding a way to develop a contemporary dance scene. So through Lokomotiva, this is an NGO, it's an organization for development of performing arts. We made many efforts and many changes in Skopje, in Macedonia, for presenting dance from all over the world and educating the audience also what is contemporary dance and how to relate to this dance form. So I do many things, not just an artist, but as someone that is building the cultural context in the country, because 15 years ago I can say that not just in Macedonia but in the Balkan region, contemporary dance just really started to develop. And it is a process, and I'm very much influenced by this process of developing something which is not set yet as a form, as yes, something that is, I couldn't say new, but something that is very important for artists to have also. So not just classical ballet, but to have something else, which is contemporary dance. That you will see on Mes de Danza is formula. It's exploration of personal language and way of communicating with bodies in space. So my partner from Slovenia, Dejan Strhoj, and I made the concept together, but it is an open concept that includes dramaturgs, also other artists, performers, and myself and Dan as co-authors of this piece perform in this piece. But we decided that we want to finish this process and finalize this process as a product. So we performed in the Joseph Nagy Choreographic Center in Orléans, France, and we decided that we want to finish this process formula and in a way find a way of an ending. But what is really interesting for us in this process is the deconstruction of classical ballet, because both of us came from very strong classical ballet and then decided that we work in contemporary dance. So for us it's finding ways of discovering how to communicate with these two different languages of contemporaneity today and classical ballet that we have trained for so many years. Not to neglect this form, but to maybe give it another form, another layer, another logic for our bodies. So formula is still an open process, because now Aleksandar Georgiev, my colleague from Macedonia, is jumping into this process and reopening another page of formula again. So finding a new communication on stage with Aleksandar is already establishing a new formula. So formula is a way of defining relations, language between bodies in space, and communication.
I'm Aleksandar Georgiev from Macedonia, one small country from Balkans. I started my education privately in Bulgaria, still in Balkans, then continue in other programs which are in Balkans, so everything is somehow connected hardly with the Balkan. And by these years, already 8 years into somehow contemporary dance and education mostly, still in process of education, came to the point that for now I don't have a strict statement or solution or precise interest of whatever saving the world, but somehow it's everything going on, and the interest is building up more in the level of laboratory and working with many other skills and possibilities of other people and other professions and other knowledge that we are surrounded. So only one thing I know that I don't like closed circle of mentality, knowledge, possibility, profession, whatever. So I have still a lot. I will catch on the story of Iskra. So I'm from the new generation that already find in the Balkan the situation of contemporary dance kind of in the way of building it. So it's not set it, and I hope will never set. It will always go on, and it will have somewhere always to go. So for me it was somehow, I can say, in the time that I'm born or that I live or that I discovered, it's much easier and with much more possibilities. So all the possibilities of the festival, they already changed when I entered into all this world. So I didn't catch the previous things, I've just heard only. And I feel already that festivals as this one that is going on, it influence, not, I will say a lot, but by this I mean in the sense of artistic point of view. Always, wherever I go with my performance or other performance, whenever you change the space, how basic it is, whenever you change the space or the contact or the food, it's already enough that you can change at least the point of view into the performance when you're performing it. So this is why I like always 2-3 days before performing, way of adaptation. And what to talk about when it came to collaboration with the people and the mentalities, and then it can build up and go on like forever. Not only because of the mentality, character, stories, private one, not only globalized. So you know that we always are more influenced by individual stories. So somehow these festivals, it brought to me a lot about building up and finding new ways of building up my products and artistic work, and also changing focus in the last moment, which I love it. Yeah, about the festivals. This was my opinion. And focusing now on the work that we are going to present on this festival, the work of Iskra and Danza, where I where I was invited and I jump into the performance and the concept. As Iskra said, the concept is formula, and it's talking about the formula. Actually, it's doing the formula, and what I always say is one of the most comfortable performances that I've been invited in, because inside it's totally enough to have your own character and your own personality and behavior, and it's already formula existing. Just putting it into the space and next to the person, and the formula is there. So it's so comfortable that that you don't need to build up any character, precisement, selection, or whatever. And according to the work that I will present, which is miniature, it's 13 minutes form. There, it's somehow because of the curiosity about the silliness, stupidity, and all these statements or moments that every person of us has it or have it, and by all this curiousness of these statements, is it about quality, or is it about just statement as it is, or the level, how far it can go, or the space, how far you can include? It's presented by the body of the man. Already it appeared the character by itself. So the focus, it's not so much into the building up the character and then just follow it and then let's see what is going on. but it's about all this finding out the definitions, what the silliness does it mean by definition and by reality and by kind of force of using into the language. And when you have all this curiness and you see what the silliness also can bring or can forbid, or it will not let bring it, when you put all this into the body of the man, and of course skills, possibilities, everything, then it appeared somehow the character of Heidi is the name of the performance, and it have a lot of questioning and mixtures, but it's so clear by itself. So it's somehow still strange for me and still enjoyable and still have a lot of space.